So, topic today is how I manage to GM riffs. Okay, well, what do I mean by that? Riffs. We all know it. If you don't know about riffs, it's by Palladium Games. Kevin Simbita is the guy behind Palladium Games, and he produced a game called Riffs. You know, and various people have been involved with the project. Came out, I believe, in the mid-'80s. So this isn't a Riffs review. This is just a little insight I had into GMing riffs, and really just discussion, just random chat about riffs. So I picked up the game in the 80s, and it's the one with the cool Splugorth minion or whatever on the cover. So for those of you who don't know, it's this really cool reptilian creature on a hover platform, a bunch of big busted women who look, you know, floating eyes and stuff. It's not really a good description. You know, this is a blind lizard creature with tentacles. Anyway, some of the coolest artwork I think ever produced is this this picture on the cover, right? So who can turn that down? So I pick up riffs and I leaf through it, and immediately there's a block, you know, a barrier from me playing it right off the bat as soon as I open it. And the barrier is this. I came from the land of D&D at the time, and I was looking at this game, Riffs. Now the problem with that is that for the most part, as a DM, and I was a very successful DM, people liked, you know, liked what I did. I didn't have a stuffy nose at that time. And they really liked my gaming, really thought I was fantastic, and blah blah blah, and I had good players, so D&D was always lots of fun. And then I pick up riffs, and there's a problem with that, and the problem is it doesn't have purchased adventures at the time. There weren't any, or any that I was aware of. And in the main book, there was nothing to that effect either. No purchased adventure, no adventure included, right? Some ideas. So tack on that the fact that you've got a system that isn't very intuitive. I actually don't mind the system for riffs that much. A lot of people have a lot of issue with it, but you know, I wasn't minding it too much, but it had a fairly complex system, not intuitive. And then I had to roll up all the NPCs, and then I had to write up something, and write up a setting and a campaign for a game I really knew nothing about. And so that was the initial barrier, right? I got it, I want to play it, it's cool, I like the Splugorth minion. I looked through it as the coolest fluff of all time. The Coalition is this kind of, you know, human organization that almost looks a bit Nazi Germanish. You know, this scary kind of, you know, terrifying army of a lot of grunts and things, and people who wish to do well, who are just caught up in this truly evil force, right? And you know, so everything, that's a barrier to me, and that's enough to turn me off from it, because I don't, you know, I wasn't writing my own campaigns at the time. It was too much work, I was too busy to do it. I really wanted something where you can, okay, let's go open up the module, here we go, you know, go down the steps, there's a tunnel, there's what's in the room. You know, I wasn't in the mood to do all that. Now, as time went on, I started thinking, okay, I still want to try it, but at the time, this is before online gaming. You know, there were probably forums or such. I don't even know if there were, you know, much on the go. I didn't have my own computer at the time. And so the issue is, you know, you're really gaming, you're geographically, you know, your gaming groups are geographically determined, right? Because you have to game with the people who are nearby. You know, just like when you grow up, your friends are the people who are nearby, right? You don't have a big, you know, list of characteristics you want in a friend. You know, your friends are right next to you. Yeah, not that that's bad, but, you know, that's the reality with, you know, gaming, right? So the group I had, there was a kind of a guy there who was the other GM, you know, well-respected, you know, a great guy, but he hated sci-fi. And because he hated sci-fi, you know, he immediately turned everybody else off from it all the time. He couldn't wrap his mind around sci-fi. I don't think he'd ever seen a sci-fi. You know, this guy thought sci-fi was Star Trek and that's it. And so, because of this, no one else would try Rifts. They wouldn't, you know, they wouldn't give it a chance, right? Because, you know, because of this guy, right? So literally because of one guy. So, you know, years went on and years went on, and finally I got fed up, and, you know, I was still buying the Rifts World books periodically as it came out because they were just so cool. Got a Rifts Japan, open it up, there's a Cyber Samurai, holy, you know, I'm gonna buy this book. And just periodically kind of reading through some of the stuff because it was so interesting. Yeah, the most amazing fluff ever is Rifts. And so I buy it. And, you know, time's going on, I'm getting a bit fed up at this point. I periodically look at it and think, well, gee, I'd like to try it at least once in my life. So here, enter Skype. I'd been Skype gaming for a few years, and playing Castles and Crusades. I mentioned that in another blog. That really got me back into gaming with gusto. And so I get on the Palladium boards, and I advertise for some people. And, you know, then I end up with this 2-year campaign that runs really, really well. I have lots of fun. But before I get to that, here's the issue I had. So basically, I was, you know, I couldn't wrap my mind around Rifts too, right? So, you know, I'd look, at this point there was a published adventure, a little mini adventure. I think it was in, I can't recall the name of it offhand, but it was, you know, Rifts Sourcebook 1, I think it was. And anyway, there's this little mini adventure in it. And then, you know, when you open up the Rifts main book, you know, you can be a vagabond, you know, this guy with tattered clothing. You can be a, you know, a cyber knight, you know, this, you know, paladin-like Jedi guy. And you can also be a dragon, right? Or a full conversion Borg. So hit point wise, you know, they have mega damage, or their damage classes and Rifts, so I won't get into it here. But hit point wise, if you're a vagabond, you know, you might have 30. And if you're a full conversion Borg, you might have 400. If you're a dragon, you might have 450. And if you're a glitter boy, that's a topic for another game, another vlog. If you're a glitter boy, you might have 700 hit points, really, right? That's kind of what it translates into. So I couldn't wrap my mind around that. How are you going to have this farmer dude, you know, vagabond guy, traveling with a dragon, right? How's that going to work? And the thing is, it wouldn't work with a traditional D&D styled module. Purchased adventure. Okay, you walk into the room, you know, there are 4 goblins there. What do? Well, the vagabond, you know, grabs a broken a bottle and breaks it and attacks one. And the glitter boy goes outside, uses boom gun and takes out the mountainside, right? You know, it just didn't work. Well, the thing that clicked with me was when I watched the movie Avengers. And I saw how, you know, you could have an adventure that worked with a god, a giant indestructible green monster, and some guy with a bow. You know, it could work, right? And I'll get into that in the second part of this vid. Okay, see you.